price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Accelerated Graphics and Signs, 101 East Renfro, Suite C in Burleson, Texas, can handle all of your graphic needs. Need a banner or promotional products for your business? They got you covered. T-shirts and caps for your group. All you need to figure out is if you want them screen printed or embroidered. How about some slick graphics on that hot ride to make you stand out from the crowd? Accelerated Graphics and Signs can handle anything you throw at them. Located at 101 East Renfro Street, Suite C in Burleson, Texas, go in and see them. Call them at 817-991-0523 or reach them on the web at www.acceleratedgraphics.net. They are loud and proud and want to serve you. Accelerated Graphics.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store. They got you covered.
You're listening to JoCo Community Radio.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Reach Across Johnson County segment on JoCo Community Radio. You can join us live here on Facebook or download the TuneIn Radio app. It's free, where we are live 365 on JoCo Community Radio, the voice of Johnson County, Texas. To share a little bit about Reach, our mission at Reach is to support safe and healthy choices vital to the well-being of our youth, families, and community. This show will guide you, educate you, and inspire you to be a part of the solution and to reach out and help make a difference in our communities. What began as a local movement in the city of Midlothian grew to include programs throughout Ellis County with only a few years and eventually expanded into neighboring Johnson County, Texas. And so here we are today. My name is Shari Phillips. I am one of your hosts today for the Reach Across Johnson County. I'll let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Erica. I'm the coalition coordinator.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Vasquez and I'm one of our mental health project coordinators.
And we are very excited this evening to have some ladies here from Wings of Hope. And I'm going to let Ashley, she's going to read some information about these ladies.
Yes, so we are so excited. Theresa Thomas has been involved with the mission of Wings of Hope since 2014, coming to the organization with an extensive background in interpreting for those in the deaf and hard of hearing community. She has a passion for advocating for those with disabilities and challenges. You will find her spending time in the arena as a certified therapeutic writing instructor, as well as in the community representing Wings' mission to form partnerships as the PR and events coordinator. Outside of the barn, she enjoys spending time with her husband, adult children, and her 2 fur babies.
Awesome.
And then we have Allison Gross. She is the Director of Development at Wings of Hope and has been involved with the organization since 2004. A native of Fort Worth with roots in Johnson County, she engages in the community through volunteerism with CASA of Johnson County, the Junior League of Fort Worth, and supporting her 2 children in all of their extracurricular activities. Her passion is making a difference and pouring love into the community, which is why her love for Wings of Hope has spanned many decades. Awesome. And welcome, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I just love the whole equine therapy thought. I love horses. I haven't been around them just a whole lot, but they are most beautiful, magnificent animals. And I just love just watching. So I'm really excited to hear about y'all's programs and everything. Do one of you mind sharing a little bit of the mission of Wings of Hope?
Sure. I'm happy to share our mission. So, our mission is to provide equine assisted services for children and adults with any type of physical, mental, or emotional challenge. And what that looks like is we partner horses and humans to navigate the curveballs of life, to learn how to utilize resources and best manage life with a disability, and whatever that looks like for that particular individual. So we serve our clients beginning at the age of 3, and we have served upwards of 93 and everything in between. So, it might look like a disability that someone was perhaps born with, spina bifida or spina bifida, cerebral palsy, something along those lines that might be lifelong, but yet that looks different. Spina bifida as an infant and as a toddler and as a 93-year-old, that looks different.
Right.
So everything we do is very individualized to that particular individual and their family, their other therapies they might be in, their network. And we partner them with a horse that is able to address those particular objectives, goals, and challenges for that phase of life and whatever that looks like.
Oh, that's amazing. So I do have a couple of questions, because it brings to mind. Do you do like group sessions, or do individuals come in and then you work with the individual?
That's a great question. And I'll let Theresa speak to that in just a second too. The wonderful part about Wings of Hope too, and as you guys know, much with nonprofits, you wear multiple hats.
Oh, yes.
And I think our favorite hats are our instructor hats when we get to be in the dirt.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, the answer is yes. We do both of those. And we have multiple programs, and I'm certain we'll get into that too. But yeah, why don't you explain a little bit about what does that look like for an individual when they come in, and what does that partnership look like?
So one of the things that we do is therapeutic riding. Therapeutic riding is our mounted program. And in that situation, they would come in and they would get on their horse and they could ride in a lesson with up to 3 other people in that class. And so in that area, they would be taught those tools that they need to learn to manage whatever it is that they're coming in for.
Okay, that's cool. So when people come in, do most of them have any kind of background of being around the horses? And
it's not required.
It's not required.
They could come in knowing absolutely nothing. And that's kind of the neat thing about Wings of Hope is we don't require that.
That's amazing.
And so if they could come in knowing a lot about horses and have a totally different experience, or they could come in knowing nothing and be really impressed with the herd that we have.
Well, that's awesome. What are y'all's hours?
Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6.
Okay. So your arena, is it a lighted, area that you work? Oh, well, that's cool.
It is lit, and it is enclosed to a certain extent. We have windscreens. We are not 100% enclosed.
Okay, but y'all are year round. So even through the winter months and everything, y'all are still seeing people. That's neat.
Yes, we are.
I'm really excited about that. Well, I guess let's go ahead and talk about some of the different programs, because I understand that y'all have several different ones that y'all do. One of the first ones I've got written down is the therapeutic riding. You want to explain that to us?
Well, the therapeutic riding is what I was just talking about, where it is a mounted program.
Okay.
They will be taught tools how to manage.
Okay, let me ask a quick. When you say mounted, that means on
the horse.
top. Okay,
On the
riding the horse. Okay.
Yes, and that looks different for every single rider that comes into our program. It could be they're independent. It could be that they need somebody to lead their horse.
Okay.
It could be that they need sidewalkers to assist them while they're on the horse.
So, do y'all have people though that I'm assuming that people that may be in chairs and may not. So you're able to strap them onto the horse. That must be so freeing for them to be able to.
Yes,
it is pretty neat. We do not have a lift that would lift the rider up onto the horse. So in order for them to be able to ride at Wings of Hope, they would need to be able to stand up long enough for us to turn them around and help them get on the horse, or we would be able to lift them, but they need to be able to sit on the horse by themselves.
Oh, that is so cool. Very cool. Okay, and let's see, equine facilitated learning. What is that all about?
So our equine facilitated learning program, or EFL, as we call it quite frequently, is our ground-based program. So it is exclusively on the ground and not in the saddle. And the reason why we have that program and it's differentiated from that therapeutic riding is because, again, it's that individual and why are they coming to us? So someone who is in a chair and that aha moment you just had, they're going to get that from the back of a horse in a saddle. Someone who is perhaps managing and dealing with PTSD and they are needing to be able to go in a grocery store and be around loud noises, they can gain those tools, and they're going to get a lot more feedback from the horse if they're one-on-one, if they're pairing with that horse or working with multiple horses in the herd. And so there's a lot more value not from the back of a horse and being on the ground-based. So in a nutshell, that is what that equine facilitated learning program is. And it's exactly that. The equine, the horse, facilitates that learning, opens those doors that often have been closed for whatever reason, whatever diagnosis, challenge, trauma, whatever it is that individual is working on. And so with that program, that equine facilitates that learning, and it's different every time they come. They work in theory, they're going to work with the same horse that every time they come and build a bond and a partnership. But horses, much like people, have a lot to give. We all have different strengths and personalities, and so that's another advantage to that ground base is they might be able to stand in the middle of the pasture with 5 horses around them and have that feedback of what is that horse telling them. One of my favorite kind of stories for this particular program is that several years ago we had a veteran who was coming to us and was part of that program. He was from the Vietnam era and had decades worth of Vietnam era in his head and needed to get that out. And he happened to be at the barn on Veterans Day. And one would think like, oh, that's a great thing. This is a wonderful time to thank him for his service. But he was mad. He came from that era where it wasn't prestigious to have served. But his horse sensed all of that as he was kind of disclosing some of that. And that horse actually just walked up to him and gave what we kind of call a horse hug, but invited him into his space, gave him, and it was because literally that body language, that man's energy changed as he was letting that go. And that horse received that from him.
Oh, wow.
And so that's so very powerful and different than many other therapies or friend-to-friend conversations or whatnot. Horses are, very much mirror images. They speak body language. They don't speak English or French or Spanish, but they speak body language, and we all speak body language. Even for those of us who are nonverbal or we're nonverbal by the ways of the world, but yet still verbal. And so horses are, very much can open those doors, or even more so be like, there's not a door. Here we are, and so it really just kind of makes the box looks different or takes the box away. And so often that is what's happening in that ground-based program, where again, all of those things don't necessarily have to do with, learning how to open the gate from the back of a horse or learning how to cross a bridge on the back of a horse or run on the back of a horse. There's a lot to be said about the partnership from the back of a horse in the saddle, but then also on the ground
On the
as well.
ground. Okay. Because I know when I'm around horses and things like that, just even sometimes just stroking the horse and things like that.
Brushing
And
them.
yes. So is that part of are they able to do that?
Absolutely. And
Grooming
that
and
is a part of both of those programs because there's a lot of value in that for the horse and the human.
yeah. I never realized how much brushing, basically most any animals, but even the horses, because my daughter, when she was little, she had this fascination with horses. And, we weren't from an area where we could have horses and things like that, or even be able to afford horses, for that matter. But I wanted her to have that opportunity. And so we took riding lessons together, but part of it was going in and grooming the horses and getting them prepared and things like that. So it was a really good bonding for my daughter and I to experience it together, but to build that relationship with those horses and everything, because we had our favorites that we liked to work with, and they like to rotate everybody around to where they had the opportunity to I guess have a relationship with each of the horses. So on your horses and things like that, do y'all have to do any kind of special training or look for certain temperaments and things like that for your horses?
So one of the great things about the horses that we have at Wings of Hope is all but one have been donated to us.
Oh, wow.
And so the way that works for us is if somebody may call and say, I've got a horse I'd like for you to look at, and we would love to donate it to you. And so we do a trial period where we make sure that the horse is able to manage all the things that it's going to be thrown, the pressures, the anxieties, everything, anything and everything that the horse could experience, in addition to the activities that we do in the arena or outside of the arena. So we have about 30 days to see if they're a good possibility. And if they are, then we may extend it a little bit further to have more time, make sure that it's going to work. And then once we accept them into the program, they're there for life.
Oh, that's so nice. Where are y'all located?
We're on 806 County Road 806, which is between Bethesda and 917 in Cleburne.
Okay, in Cleburne. Okay, and about how many horses do y'all have currently?
We have 17 accepted into the program, and we have 2 right now that are in training.
That's awesome. Because I know that horses can also have the PTSD on various things, and depending on how they were cared for and stuff, and earlier on, I know that can affect things. So that is really awesome. What about your equine discovery?
So our Equine Discovery is one of our newest programs, and the 2 previous programs that I was speaking of, the therapeutic riding and equine facilitated learning, those are what we call our therapeutic programs. So everyone who participates in that program does have a diagnosed disability. And again, there's a wide range of what that disability looks like, but those are our therapeutic programs. And then our Equine Discovery program is a program that is there's no eligibility requirement. So that can be, maybe it is a field trip with a special ed program at a local school district, in which case, obviously we accept all. We're inclusive for all, and that might be disability or no disability. It can also look like team building for corporations, nonprofits, boards, staff, anybody who is looking for that discovery and that the goosebumps that horses give. That's the program they fit in, because we really do feel that horses have something to offer everyone. Obviously, disabilities is our niche, but horses have something to offer everyone. And so that Equine Discovery program is where we can, extend our mission and look at those groups or individuals, moms groups, play dates, whatever that looks like. So it can be what we call field trip with a purpose, or our Equine Discovery team building. And then we also have summer camps. So I know we were talking about kind of our, year round. And so we do operate year round, but our programming is different year round depending on what this crazy Texas weather is doing. So summer camps is a big portion of our Equine Discovery program as well. And again, with summer camps, it's inclusive for all. That way we can allow, volunteers or the public at large to come and participate in that. But it also allows those that we serve, or maybe that we don't serve, serve yet to have that inclusive environment so that the 10-year-old who has cerebral palsy can actually ride and do something with their sibling who doesn't. A lot of times
That's
that can be
nice.
exclusive, intentionally or otherwise.
Mhm.
And so we really wanted to provide, again, that inclusive environment. And that is where all the other things come in that equine discovery program.
That's cool. I like the idea of the team building. And
Yes, I'm like, can we do that?
I know.
If our program director, Jen, if you're listening, I think we need to do a team building activity.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
It's so much fun. And it really is so much fun, but it's also, there is so much growth. There's so much communication.
Yeah.
There's so much of, a lot of times we see just an exhale or an inhale. Maybe a staff is about to transition into something different and everybody's like, all right, we are on this, but what does that look like?
Yeah.
So it's, it's a very powerful tool, even if it is literally just a day to come and have fun. There's a lot of power and growth that happens in that as well.
So when you do have somebody come, what if somebody is not just real comfortable with horses? How can you help them with that?
That is literally the nature of what we do.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So between the therapeutic and then the equine facilitated, if someone comes to y'all with whatever disability that they have, how do they go about choosing? Is it kind of like they kind of choose, or do y'all kind of just work together to decide based on their situation what's best for them and their disability?
So our program director will have an eval, but it's really just a meet and greet so that they can get to know each other and see what their goals are, why are they coming there. And then she will make that decision as to what is best for that client at that time.
Okay.
And there's nothing saying that they can't go back and forth. If they start out
That was
in
my
the
next
EFL,
question.
if they start out in the EFL program and they're ready to progress into the therapeutic riding, they can do that, or vice versa. If they start at therapeutic riding and they're not able to attain their goals through the back of a horse, then we can remove them and put them into the ground-based program. So that's the really nice thing with having those two different things, is that we have that opportunity to give them both.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Is there like a typical time range for the programs, or like people just come in a day, a week, or?
Typically, we have them ride one time a week for an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
When they start out, if they're littles, it might be 30 minutes. They may not be able to manage that full hour, but typically it's one time a week for an hour.
Yeah, I never realized how much just sitting on a horse, how many muscles you use you didn't know.
Those thighs.
Thighs and core.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like getting off. It's like trying to walk afterwards. Like, oh my goodness, there are muscles there I didn't know I had.
Right. Right.
Oh
That's cool. Well, I guess another question I wanted to ask, as far as is doing the program, I mean, is some of this covered through like people's insurance? Okay.
That's a great question. And that's probably a number one question we get.
Okay.
So the therapeutic programs that we offer are not recognized through insurance. They are just recognized as recreational. So there are some third-party entities that will support that and pay for that.
Okay.
That often a lot of folks who are navigating life with a disability are already umbrellaed under some of those services or third parties with like Easter Seals and Disability Services of the Southwest, things of that nature. So we are eligible to receive third-party funding through those types of entities.
Okay.
But as far as billing it to like Blue Cross, Aetna, things like that, this portion, those programs of the industry are not recognized as billable.
Okay.
Also, because of that, we do feel strongly and committed that no one ever be turned away for inability to pay. We don't want funding to be the deciding factor for someone to receive a service that they need. We also understand, knowing that population, we are one provider of countless providers that may or may not be able to bill from insurance. And so funding is that's a number one question we almost almost always get, because so many of the population that we serve, even if they are receiving other services that are eligible through insurance, they're hitting maximum out of pockets every year.
Yeah.
So even like, great, insurance covers it. Well, that's still a large expense.
Yes.
So while we are not able to bill for insurance, we just get creative. We work with our funding partners and our fundraising efforts to be able to sustain that commitment, so that again, no individual is ever turned away for.
Is it kind of like a scholarship type deal?
Very
Or?
much so. Yes,
Okay.
it is our financial aid program. There are some eligibility requirements and accountability requirements for that.
Okay.
And then in essence, everyone that we serve is receiving financial aid, because we never charge more than $40 an hour for service. So if any of us were to go anywhere and try to ride a horse for $40, it's probably not happening.
Yeah.
If any of us were to try to go and get any type of therapy or therapeutic service for $40, that's also probably not happening. So our fees are subsidized and remain at that affordable $40 rate.
Yeah.
So everyone is impacted by that financial aid assistance. And again, you'll hear me say individualized. It really is, individualized for everything that we do, from the goals and objectives to the horse that they ride to what they pay. It is to that individual and what works for them and their family.
So for somebody to come in, as you mentioned, once a week, so it's just $40 for them to come in and have that hour. Because I'm thinking, mental health, and one taking care of oneself and everything. Sometimes just connecting, with your animals and things like that. I mean, it can bring such joy and relieve that stress and things like that. So
that was exactly what was going through my head. Like from the mental health perspective, we just had a mental health conference and we talked a lot about different tools to use for it. And I never thought about horses. So, and I'm like, this is like a mind-blowing thing, because I'm like, that seems obvious. Like riding a horse, taking care of a horse, being in nature. Like I feel like that would help tremendously with depression or anxiety.
I know. I wanted to say, one of the things when we first got married, our apartment overlooked kind of like a ranch in a park area, and the horses would be out there, and I could sit for hours.
They're beautiful.
Yes, and just watch them. And I mean, it just gave me such a calming to be able to watch them. And I loved when they got to running and interacting with. It brought peace to me, and so I could definitely see it for the mental health. If not riding, just watching. Yeah.
Absolutely. And to kind of go back to, your question earlier about like commitment and what does that look like? And, so often people do think, okay, they're talking about children in wheelchairs. Well, no, it literally 3 to 93, any type of diagnosis. And I think any of us probably at any time in our life could have gotten a diagnosis of anxiety or depression or PTSD or trauma or whatever that looks like. So, when we say we partner horses and humans, it's everybody. There's that process to go through that. And again, are you in the therapeutic program or the equine discovery? But literally our horses have something to offer everybody. And then to take that a step further, it might be that somebody's in a season of needing to give them some self-love and some self-care, and they want to become a part of the program, and they're in perhaps the EFL for a year, and they get that love and they get those tools and those skills and they move on. And it might be something that again is lifelong, and we have clients that have been with us almost lifelong.
Oh wow.
So there's a time and a season for everything, and that's something we take pride in Wings of Hope, and being in our 27th year. We've been with people through many seasons, and intend to be with people for many more seasons forward, again, for that individual, what that looks like. It might be anxiety and they just need 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years, or it might be surviving a stroke and it's lifelong, or whatever that looks like.
Well, that is so amazing. And there's so much more that we want to talk about. I know we're getting down into our last couple of minutes before we go to break, so I don't want to get into too many heavy duty questions and things like that. Can y'all think of anything particular you want to ask?
Yes, I know you said that you don't have therapeutic riding abilities for someone that's maybe in a wheelchair that can't lift or transition themselves. Do you have something else, or what do you recommend in that instance where they can't actually move from a chair to a horse?
Sure. So if they can themselves not move from a chair to a horse, that's not a problem. Like Theresa said, we just lift them. If they are weight bearing and can stand, we get people on horses. The only reason when we cannot get someone on a horse is because of a safety issue.
Okay.
So it's not because of a strength issue or because of my legs don't work like her legs type issue. It's because maybe they've had a spinal injury and it's not going to be safe. Or maybe they are a young child with spina bifida and they don't have good head control yet. And again, it's not going to be safe. But we have lots of folks who have never weight bared and never walked a step like you or I, and they get on a horse, and we get them on a horse. So we just get real creative with what that looks like as long as it's safe.
That's awesome.
I didn't know if you guys had like a special harness or something that you could strap them into.
No, and we really don't. Also, because we want to promote as much independence as possible. So, and that comes into that being able to, to sit up and have that good head control. If they can do that, then we're okay with that movement of the horse. They don't get that in their wheelchair, or they don't get that with an altered gait. So we just get real creative with that and keep it safe.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, y'all stay tuned. We're fixing to get a commercial break, and we'll come back with Wings of Hope and learn how you can get involved with them. Thank you.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to JoCo Community Radio.
Welcome back to the second half of the Reach Across Johnson County segment on JoCo Community Radio. JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoCo.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JoCo Community Radio. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844.tex.hail. That's 844-839-4245. And be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. And welcome back, ladies. We're talking with the ladies from Wings of Hope this afternoon. And we appreciate y'all coming in and being with us in studio. We love it when we have guests that come in studio with us. And so this, were you fixing to say something? I'm sorry. We were wanting to kind of in the second half kind of get more information on like if you have volunteer opportunities, and if so, how can someone get involved with your programs?
So we could not do what we do without our volunteers, and they are literally the hands and feet of our program. So if you are 14 or older, you could come and volunteer with us. You do need to be able to walk in the arena dirt for about an hour. No horse experience is needed.
Okay.
We will teach you all about that if you want to learn. You'll start out as a sidewalker with our clients. And then if you decide that being with the horse is where your heart is, then we'll make that happen for you and train you. But we do all our training at the arena. And so you just come walking in and let us know that you want to volunteer, and all that information is on our website.
Okay. So you'll teach people how to bridle and
That's
saddle.
awesome. That was my question. I was like, do we have to have experience?
Nope.
Awesome.
You do not.
Oh my gosh, I
None at
instantly
all.
thought of my mom because she loves horses and it's always been her dream to have one. I was literally like, I'm calling her on the way home and I'm telling her.
And it
go
is
volunteer.
literally the cheapest way for you to be able to feel like you own a horse, like you have a
Yeah.
horse, because you have that responsibility and you don't have to pay.
Yeah, see, that's
awesome.
Horses are so costly
I know.
and time consuming.
Yes, and and the vet bills and
I was sitting here thinking earlier, I was like, I wonder if in the future if my husband and I can buy one. Can we get a horse one day?
Start saving your pennies.
I know.
I know, just to be able to go and ride. I think that's awesome. We have family members that have them, and we occasionally get to go, but not near as often as I'd like to, because like I said, I just love the horses and just being around them. So I don't know, even just the smell of horses, I don't know, it's comforting to me for some reason.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
feel of their soft little
Yeah, their
nose.
nose. Oh my goodness. We once when I was in high school, I went to summer camp in Colorado, and one of the things that we got to do was horseback riding, and it was in the mountains, and it was
Oh.
literally one of the best experiences of my life.
It's beautiful.
Yes, I loved it. That was the first time I'd been on one when it was galloping. And I felt so legit.
It made you feel like a cowgirl, didn't
Yes,
it?
in the mountains. Yes.
Oh, I bet that was beautiful. Yeah, that was one of my favorite memories from doing church camps and stuff like that, because they tended to offer like little trail rides and things like that, and that's where I spent most of my time.
Girl Scout camp.
Oh yeah, I wanted to be around the horses because it's one of those things you love to be around them, but don't always have that opportunity and everything. So this is really good to know.
Yes.
So you may end up seeing some of us at some point.
Yeah, remember our faces.
We'd love to have you.
Yes, I hope so.
Excuse
Welcome
me.
anytime.
Oh, well, I'm excited about that. Well, so as far as any requirements, you said that you'll handle teaching everything. You just need to be 14 years or older and be able to walk around in the arena and everything. So that's okay. So that's really good to know. What about funding? How do you mind talking about how you get your fundings and what kind of help y'all might need and things like that?
Sure. So we are a 501c3. We are a nonprofit. So we are funded by the generosity and support of our community. And what that mostly looks like for us is folks who are given their time either as a volunteer or their funds. And it's folks like you and I who are given, $50 here, $100 there.
Okay.
That really is what sustains our mission. Less than 7% of our annual operating budget, which is usually right at about $500,000, comes less than 7% comes from fees rendered from services.
Okay.
So that is, in no way, shape, or form what our bread and butter is. It's just a very small piece of that pie.
Okay.
We do have a lot of partnerships and collaborations with foundations and corporations and things of that nature. Folks who are in a position and able to give us bigger dollars or underwrite specific costs for things or provide capital improvements and things of that nature. And
thank God for those people too.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. But every dollar directly goes into our mission and is impacting a horse and a human, whether that is literally feeding a mouth. It is a horse, as we mentioned earlier. Horses are expensive. Very well worth it, obviously.
Yes.
But we spend spend, anywhere from a minimum of $50,000 beyond annually just taking care of the herd and feeding them in basic health care. And that's not including any kind of, injuries or God forbid, any illnesses or things of that nature. And for those of you who do have horses, there's injuries. You put them in a padded room and they would find trouble with vomit. So, yes. So, everything we do is just through partnerships and relationships and collaborations, whether that's, somebody who, like Theresa said, literally hands and feet coming and, walking for an hour during a lesson, or sending a, $25 check here and there, or allowing us to, do a presentation in a Sunday school class. And then we get the, Sunday offering, and that might be some bigger dollars or whatever that looks like.
Well, that's nice.
And then the rest of that support comes from our events and fundraising efforts. And Theresa, you talk a little bit about, Roundup and raffle calendar and all of those things.
We have so many good things going on right now.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
So we just kicked off our first annual raffle calendar. It will be featuring our herd. So there'll be 13 horses in the calendar this year. One of the things that we offered was sponsorship for spots in the calendar. And then we are pre-ordering the calendar this year only, just because it's our first year to do it. Yeah. And you can pre-order it through November 15th.
Okay.
And
How do you
that
go
is
about doing that?
on our website, wingsofhopehorses.org. And then the raffle part of it is if you purchased a calendar, you will register a number that comes on that calendar. And once a month, we will have a drawing for a $100 gift card. So you'll have 12 chances to win $100.
How much are your calendars?
They are $40. And the reason for that 40 is the coverage of a lesson for one rider.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I will be buying a calendar.
Need a horsey calendar.
I want a horsey calendar. Yes, absolutely. And that's really cool that, I've not ever heard of a raffle calendar before. That's really unique. And you said that, and so the stars on your calendar are going to be your horses and stuff.
It is going to be our herd.
Oh, that's cool.
And one of the things that we're really excited about is Charlie Brown, our oldest horse, is going to be 30 next year, and he's going to be the cover. And he's just full of life at 30. So it's really fun to be seeing him.
That's funny because we're getting ready for some Christmas parades and everything, and we've decided that we're going to start doing like a Charlie Brown theme, and we're doing the mascot deal where we bought a Snoopy and a Charlie Brown so we can do it throughout the year and everything.
Yeah.
So Charlie Brown, that's really cute.
I know.
Aw.
So do y'all have like favorites?
Like asking what their favorite child is.
It really,
I'll ask people that
truly.
too.
Yeah. We have favorites for different reasons
things,
and different lessons and things like that. And so, I mean, they steal your heart, and whether they're having one of their naughty days or one of their days where they're just doing their job beyond what we could imagine. We love them for everything that they do.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be a little nerdy. I want to ask some of the names.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, we got Chicken Nugget.
Oh,
he's a fan favorite.
He is a fan favorite. Sherlock, Cowboy, Vanny, Lark, Osty, Posa,
Coco.
Coco's our mini.
Little horse.
Little horse. Yes, she is. She's our miniature, and she's spunky. I tell you. Who did I forget? Bodie, yes. Hank. Can't forget Hank.
Sounds suspicious.
Yeah, like he's a naughty horse.
Yeah. So I can't remember if I've named everybody.
You did. There's a good chunk there. I didn't get them all written down, but I'm excited. I just love some of the names that you have for the horses. That's really cool. So when they came to you, were they already named, or did y'all give them special names? Or
they came with a name.
They came with a name.
And we'll keep their names as long as we don't have duplicate names.
Okay.
But like Nugget came to us with, I don't remember his name.
Miles.
Yeah, Miles, and it just didn't match him.
Yeah.
And so he was our golden nugget. He's the only horse we've ever paid for. Like I said, all of our horses have been donated, and we had the funds to be able to go get him, and he was worth every penny. And the great thing is, one of our riders came to us that couldn't speak. He hadn't developed the muscles in his neck and throat to be able to speak. And does Allison the son? And when he started speaking, he named him Chicken Nugget.
Oh, that's
so
sweet.
it's very precious when you have a situation like that, and such a sweet story. And now he doesn't stop talking.
That's awesome. No.
Yes.
I love that.
That is really
great.
cool.
Okay, so this may be a silly question, but I really want to know, what kind of stuff do they snack on? Like as treats. So what do they like to eat for treats?
So a lot of times we have one of our mares, our females, Ostie, like she hates apples. So, a lot of times people think of the go-to of carrots and apples, and that generally is the go-to. But like she doesn't like them, and she thinks she likes them, and then she'll eat them, and we call making it applesauce. She'll chew them, and she'll
Spit 'em out.
literally every time, every
my
time.
goodness.
So there's some of them that are finicky like that. They prefer one over the other. They like watermelon. Like
Watermelon's a
rinds.
favorite.
Yeah,
wow.
like the kind of crunchy pieces.
Do y'all do they do the pumpkins? I mean, I know that a lot of people.
Someone just recently actually asked me that, and I said, I don't know. I've never given a horse a pumpkin. Yeah, and I haven't looked further into that. Horses have the most intricate GI system that I think God ever created in an animal. So as big and massive as they are, they have the most delicate tummies.
Yeah.
Interesting fact about horses as well is that they cannot throw up. So imagine what that would feel like if you're just like, oh, I don't feel good. And, our bodies are designed to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, their bodies don't
do
allow
that.
them to do that. Literally physically don't have the muscles and cartilage and ligaments and whatnot to do that. So when a horse gets a tummy ache, it's called a colic.
Colic, yeah.
And so, very much unlike dogs and whatnot, you can't give a horse a hamburger or your leftover, lick the bowl of my lasagna or whatever. However, there are some horses that would do that and they would love it. They'll go out and they'll find acorns and snack on stuff. They'll find different berries, especially like this time of the year, fall and spring, they'll come in, they'll have purple muzzles. And it's like, well, you found something. Yeah.
Oh, acorns. So y'all have a lot of trees out there that deposit acorns.
We do, yeah. And we have a few, horses that it's like that's their nemesis, and they'll come in with a tummy ache, and it's like, well, what season is it? What, yeah. And then you have others horses who are, they've done it once and are like, oh, never again, or they just, they much like people too. Their metabolisms are different, and you could set up a big, bowl of ice cream in front of me, and I'm like, okay, where other people are like, oh, I got to eat that right this second, but you put some greasy cheese fries in front of me and like, I'm going to eat more than I need to. So horses have the same kind of mentality. There's some that, have a high food drive, and then others not so much.
Okay, that's good. What about sugar cubes? Do you let them have sugar cubes?
I have never in my life given a horse a sugar cube.
But we've given them peppermints.
They do love
They like peppermints.
Yes.
That's odd.
Oh, so peppermint sticks or just round
or even
peppermints?
just,
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think that it's a strong flavor for them, but they like the crunchy of it too.
One of our listeners, Brian, says that most horses love pumpkins.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay, so if you've got somebody that maybe want to get rid of some pumpkins, would y'all be willing to accept a few pumpkins?
And that makes sense too, because pumpkin can be really soothing.
Yeah.
For, a stomach. And I know, like dogs in particular, if they're
I was
if they
just
are
thinking
throwing up
that.
or whatever, it's like, give them some boiled squash or pumpkin or whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very interesting.
I've given my Frenchie pumpkin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'd heard somebody else recently. I saw a post that says, don't throw away your pumpkins and everything. That there are livestock, that
donkeys, I think, and
that
goats,
really really enjoy. So I was thinking, well, ask about the horses and everything. Well, as far as like donating, like if somebody had a horse that was wanting to donate, how do y'all usually recommend that they reach out and talk to you about that?
Well, they can call our barn. And what we normally say is usually between the ages of 5 and 15, they absolutely have to be broke, for lack of a better word. And preferably no lameness.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And that's an understandable misconception is a lot of time, people have a horse and maybe they used to run barrels and they had an injury and they're like, well, they can walk great or, they used to be able to trot and run, but they, really they just kind of walk around. Well, that's not what our need is.
Yeah.
So they, like Theresa said, no lameness issues, anything along those lines, have to have, like she said, must be broke, have had a lot of training. And then we also just, want to know like, what is their previous career?
Okay.
And that might be like a Vanny is one of our horses, and he's and Sherlock as well, are previous show horses and have lots of ribbons and accolades that, go along their name with their names. And then Chicken Nugget that she was talking about earlier, his previous career is he was a little girl's horse. But what that means is he had wagons and baby dolls and strollers and balloons and, loud noises all
And
around
ribbons,
him.
probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was truly his career. That was a part of that training. So they also all have to have had some type of, unique experience to bring to the table. And, so if somebody's out there and thinking that might be, a horse that they have, give us a call. And then, we can go further into that and, kind of what our parameters are and what we're looking for. And, it also depends on Wings of Hope season and what it is that we're needing. Or, maybe we're serving a lot more adults and we need a bigger stout horse that can carry larger weight. Or maybe we're seeing an influx of folks who need more support and need that, lift or transfer. And maybe we don't need a horse that's very, very tall. Maybe we need more of a pony.
Okay.
At this time, a specific horse that we are looking for and what we do need is a smaller pony or even like a larger miniature horse to accompany our little Coco and to be able to be a good transition horse between our two therapeutic programs. So to be able to be a very welcoming and not intimidating, ground-based horse, which is a wonderful thing Coco has to have. At 200 pounds, people think, oh, she's so sweet, and she very much is. But also, horse people generally know that the smaller they are, the more spunky they are.
Yeah.
But we need that is specifically a horse that we're looking for right now that can fit that bill, but it could also be large enough to, be ridden.
Okay.
So, potentially larger than a miniature like Coco, and be able to transition back and forth between those two programs, and even more so be able to literally transition back and forth with one client. So perhaps that client comes in, maybe has a fear of animals. We have a lot of clients who come in and have a fear of animals, and you would be like, well, why horses? So sometimes it's just addressing that fear, and maybe yes, it's a fear of animals, and that's very real and true and validated. But maybe that's also a fear of going into Walmart. That's a lot of stimulation.
Yeah.
But ironically, a horse can help with that. The tools and the skills and the resources that are learned in the pasture help you at Walmart, help you in the store, help you find your zen, when you're stuck in traffic on the freeway. And so for those clients who can come in and can need to, obtain that in the ground base, but then maybe adapt and they don't have that fear anymore, and then perhaps want to transition and be in the riding program, how cool would that be to have worked with that pony and then be able to actually ride that pony and then ride Cowboy or Marshall, our biggest horses. So currently that is a specific need that we do have.
Okay. So a smaller pony, and you still want it to be within that 5 to 15 year range.
Yes.
Okay. And in good health.
Yes.
Okay. Good deal. And any other things that y'all like to have donated? I do want to make sure we allow time for you to talk about your fundraisers too.
Yeah, sure. So the only other thing I'd like to add as far as, donations is that we always have an Amazon wish list that is featured on our socials. It's our wish list Wednesday. And it can always be found on our website through our donate tab.
Okay.
And it's updated frequently. So it can be things that help us sustain our mission, like, providing paper towels and toilet paper and stamps. Because when those things are provided, then we can take those funds and put them back into a horse's mouth, put them back into financial aid, pay a light bill. So, even though things of that nature are not glamorous, they're very much, helpful. And then there's glamorous and fun things that we put on there too. So, as we approach the holidays, instructors, we get to get creative, and we might want one of the felt Christmas trees that's put on the arena wall. Yeah. Or, ornaments that can hang off of the saddle horn. And so there's all kinds of fun stuff on there too, that people are like, well, why do they need that?
Yeah.
And we invite those questions too. We love having those conversations. Give us a call, send us an email of, why do you need this or that?
So I was just going to make sure that I've got the right number. So the 817-783-3805 is y'all's number.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll make sure that it's posted up here and then we'll repeat it again at the end. I'm sorry. Go ahead and ask your
No,
question.
it's just another silly fun question. Do y'all dress up the horses, like put little antlers on them or anything for the holidays?
Yes. There's going to be a picture in the calendar of that.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
My husband gets so mad at me because I dress our dogs.
I know. I see. We did too. Therefore, I had the one that passed recently. She's the one that tolerated it better. Okay, so let's talk about your fundraisers that you've got coming up. You've got the well, you may have something before this, but the Roundup for Riders on August 4th. We want to make sure to cover that as well.
Yes, Roundup for Riders is our largest fundraiser that we do annually.
Okay.
It is August 4th at River Ranch Stockyards. From 6 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And what that includes is a silent auction, live auction, a couple of games. And at the end of the night, we're going to have a dance.
Oh.
So we just want to be able to thank everybody for coming out and spending that time with us. So prior to that night, what we need to be able to host this event is some sponsorships.
Okay.
They start at $100 all the way up to 10,000.
10 million.
10 million. Okay, we're going really high tonight.
10,000.
10,000. And then we have the silent auction and the live auction where we need items to be able to support that. And that could be anything from a gift card or something that is homemade. If you're really crafty and can make some really cool things, we would love to be able to put that kind of thing in our silent auction. And then our live auction does usually include something a little bit more fancy and flashy. And so, businesses have been very kind and donated bus tours and airplane rides over Dallas and things like that have been really neat. So so if you
does it cost anything to do the Roundup for Riders?
It is no charge for you to come in, and we do offer dinner and all of that with an opportunity to support us and spend.
Okay. So you said it does or it does not?
It does not cost.
It does. Oh, and you provide dinner too?
Yes.
Wow. That's
and
amazing.
There's a dance. That sounds fun.
I know. That does sound fun.
It's a lot of fun. And like Theresa said, that is our bread and butter. That is the sustenance of our event. That event can raise upwards of 40% of our budget. So it is, absolutely our bread and butter, but it's also a way for us to thank everybody for being the bread and butter and the $25 here and there throughout the year, which is part of why we have that, complimentary with that opportunity to give, because we want folks to come and that be the time that we can all sit in one room together and learn about the impact that everybody has made and the lives that have been, forever changed and the horses that have been supported through that.
Yes. That's cool. That is so cool. Any other fundraisers that y'all have coming up or anything that you want to share about that?
The only other thing that we have going on that does kind of coincide with the Amazon wish list that I mentioned is we do have what we call our blessing bucket fundraiser, which is in conjunction with Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's just in the spirit of giving that we're all in this time of year.
Yep.
And it really is just kind of like that Amazon wish list with, Thanksgiving and Christmas spin on it. And it's our goal to get as much donations as we can this time of the year. So that we stock our shelves and we start off, 2024 with all kinds of goodies and supplies. And 2023. Good Lord, yes.
But you're thinking ahead, though. Yeah, let's be prepared for those. Well, that is so awesome. So I wanted to mention your website is Wings of Hope. Equitherapy, thank you, .org. And your address is the 4200 County Road 806, and it's in Cleburne. And again, the telephone number is 817-783-3085. And 38. What did I say? 3805. 817-783-3805. And are y'all on Facebook and some? Why don't y'all share how they can find you on those
Social
platforms?
medias.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
So you can find us on both of those.
Okay. Both as Wings of Hope?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Wings of Hope
Wings of Hope,
horses
yes.
or Wings of Hope Equitherapy.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that's how I found you on Facebook, was
Mhm.
that way. Thank y'all so very much for coming in. I feel like I've learned so much, and now I'm really excited about your programs and the calendar. So if you're wanting a calendar, the raffle calendar, it's $40, and it goes towards lessons. And then they're going to have the raffle drawing each month. And so
Order by November 15th.
yeah, so pre-orders by November the 15th. And let's see, anything else that y'all want to share? We're fixing to go to the break. So thanks again for coming in, ladies. We really appreciate it. And we need to have you back again before your big fundraiser so we can talk about that again.
We would love that.
That would be
Thank you for the
awesome.
opportunity. We really appreciate being here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I was so glad to come across y'all and wanted to share what resources you provided to our community. So thanks again, and thanks for tuning in to the Reach Across Johnson County. And we hope to see you next week.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County. JOCO Community Radio.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog. You know, when I get the hankering for a hot dog, I go to Cleveland, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog, the Mary Sunshine Dog, the Casey Dog, and the Shirley Dog. Why, they even got the Pacer Dog, the Brooklyn Dog, and the Jim Dog. Can't forget the Shane Dog, or the Joy Dog, and the Monty Dog. I like that fool. The Nakia Dog and the Braxton Dog round things off. Why, they even got a kids menu too.
Loafing Dog, 208 East Chambers Street, Cleveland, Texas. Lunch, catering, or takeout, plus outdoor seating. Phone number is 817-556-1040.
This is Wilfred Brimley. And don't forget, Loafing Dog won't give you diabetes.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they've got you covered.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
She can see. She is lightning in a thunderstorm. She's like a lion when it roars, hunting down her dreams. No matter what they say, she's gonna find a way. Got the strength of her father and the love of her mother, and she's not going down without a fight. And no one believes her, they all call her a dreamer. The underdog is the story of her She is like the wind blowing through. She is a tornado running loose, sweeping you off your feet. And she is a little sour and a lot of sweet. She is holding on with all her strength to everything she believes. She is the light in the darkest night. Got the strength of her father and the love of her mother, and she's not going down without a fight. And no one believes her, they all call her a dreamer. The underdog is the story of her life. A woman made to make a change, that's what she is. Got the strength of her father and the love of her mother, and she's not going down without a fight. And no one believes her, they all call her a dreamer. The underdog is the story of her life. The underdog is the story of her
Billy was a preacher's son with a kindred soul. A straight shooter all his life, he took an oath not long ago. He held his future in the palm of his hand until he met that rebel child with the long red curly hair. Now Becky was a small town girl from a broken home. She never knew her dad, hell her mom was never home. She had a reputation for being around. All she knew was she had to get out of this town. Now bridge one day. He held 2 tickets in his hand and said one way. They went out in a blaze of glory. I know you've heard it all before, 'cause it's the same old story. 2 lovers in love just got in for the morning. Yeah, you heard it all before, 'cause it's the same old story. When that Greyhound pulled in the drive, they loaded up both their bags and an old Colt 45. They headed on down the road till they saw the big city lights. They got off at the first bus stop just before midnight. They walked for an hour until they saw the first beer store. They walked right in with her bag just like she'd done it before. With her pistol and a smile he never seen, she threw her bag up on the counter and said, "You know the routine." Now the clerk loaded up the bag with all the cash they had. He went for a shotgun and the shots broke out as she went mad. They went out in a blaze of glory. I know you've heard it all before, 'cause it's the same old story. 2 lovers in love just gunning for the morning. Yeah, you've heard it all before, 'cause it's the same old story. When the shots stopped and the smoke all